is Roosevelt Guest with AutoNetwork, and I'm here at FedEx Field in Washington, D.C., and I'm with Volvo Cars. Today we're going to have on the show David Wagner, Safety Specialist for Ford Motor Company, and we're here to talk about the new Volvo SCC safety car. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Why are you taking this car on the road now? I know you have the running version. Before you just had a static version. What's the purpose of doing this?
We want to show the journalists and show the media how the car actually acts when it's driving. A lot of the advanced safety systems show best when they're driving. We have blind spot warnings and forward collision warnings that we can explain just when the car's sitting still, but you really get the meat of the argument when we're actually driving out on a test track here.
Now, other than the unique shape of this car, tell us about some of the obvious, well, I guess they're not so obvious features that you have on this car that you won't find in a production vehicle.
Right. There are two things we've done with the structure of the car to improve vision. Improving vision is the essence of this car, because we get all of our information about the driving decisions through our eyes. We have the see-through A-pillars, which are at the sides of the windshield, and we've put holes in them so that the driver can see through them. So you're not going to lose a pedestrian or a bicyclist or folks coming out of a driveway in a blind spot that's through the post at the side of the windshield. When you look over your shoulder when you're changing lanes, we've also bent the post right at the back of the front seat inboard. So when you look over your shoulder, you're just looking through the side glass and you don't have a blind spot there either.
Now, I felt like I was in one of these sci-fi movies when you had me to sit in here and then you had me to look straight ahead and my retina was scanned for seating position. Tell us about that.
Well, that's one of the fun ways that we have of setting every driver's eyes at the same point in the car. This is a very high-tech system that we're using cameras and some other sensors to find the driver's eyes and put every driver's eyes, everyone from a 4'11" person up to someone who's about 6'4", everyone's eyes go to the same point in the car. That way we can optimize the sight lines, both inside the car for all of the instruments and outside the car. You have great vision throughout the car.
Now, how many cameras do you actually have in this car?
Well, for the video cameras, we have 5 sets of video cameras. One set on each of the side view mirrors, and that looks into the blind spot. So behind the car, so if you're changing lanes or something like that, you'll get a warning if there's a car in your blind spot. Then we have 2 more that look out the rear of the car. One far back that replaces the interior rear view mirror, so in case you have lots of luggage or boxes or groceries filling up the back end of the car, you can still have good vision out the rear. Then when you go backing up for parking, we have a camera that's a wide angle camera that looks straight down right behind the car. And this, of course, is to make sure that the area right behind you as you're backing up is clear, so you're not going to run over anything right behind you. There's one camera inside the car that looks into the rear seat. This is so that you don't have to turn around to check what's going on and which kid started it in the rear seat.
Now, I'm sure in a car like this, there must be some kind of night vision. It does everything but drive itself. Talk about the night vision feature.
We have 2 things to help the driver see better at night. The first is a night vision camera that is an infrared camera that picks up the thermal images of people and animals and other vehicles much further away than the headlights. The other thing we do to improve night vision is we have adaptive headlights that tie to the vehicle speed and the steering wheel so that you get superior vision and superior headlight patterns at night when you're driving.
Now, these are some far-out features. Of the ones that you've just mentioned, what would be the first one that would probably actually go in a production Volvo?
Well, we have night vision is very, very close in Volvos, and so are some of the other electronic systems. We are very, very actively working on the blind spot system and the 4-point safety belt. So those are very much high in our product plan. So I really hope those will be out at your Volvo dealer in the next 3 to 5 years.
And a car like this, do you ever foresee this car actually being on the road for consumers to purchase?
We would hope that many of the safety systems we've shown here get bundled into the kinds of Volvo products and then other Ford Motor Company products that are all at all of our local dealerships. But this particular car, we've done a lot of fancy things, and worked with the designers very extensively to make it really look beautiful.
Now, there's been a lot of discussion about seat belts, and African Americans don't buckle up, I guess, as much as other ethnic groups, and we have a lot of deaths. And I noticed in this car you have the 4-point seat belt. Why can't you get something like the 4-point seat belt approved immediately to go into production?
The 4-point seat belt, we're working very hard on the engineering testing to make sure they're safe and to make sure that they're as comfortable and easier to wear than the 3-point belts. We have to have a seatbelt system that is easier to put on and more comfortable so that more people will buckle up. And we're deep into the consumer testing to make sure that the systems we're looking at meet that goal so that we don't discourage anyone from buckling up, because a safety belt is the most important safety feature we have in the car. There's also a couple of technical things, some engineering challenges about making sure the lap belt stays on the driver's hips so that it doesn't ride up and end up squishing your stomach and all of the squishy things. We want the seatbelt to stay low and on the driver's hips, and that has some other engineering challenges that we think we've just about have licked.
Great. David, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
This is Roosevelt Gist again with AutoNetwork, and I'm here at FedEx Field in Washington, D.C. We're with Volvo Cars taking a look at the new Volvo safety car, the SCC. And as always, please buckle up. Don't drink and drive. We'll see you next time.